It's lunchtime on Monday. I'm back at work. Over the weekend, I got to go to Pecos. Only had a little bit of time there, but it was still a lot of fun. I love the Pecos. I lived there for a year and explored Pecos Canyon and all those mountains all over the place and found a lot of sheds. There's a lot of deer in Pecos, and I wanted to get back up into Carpenter Creek, but it was a little snowy and icy, so I ended up going a different way where I found big elk sheds once. But I didn't find anything, but I want to go back over the summer or this spring and hike in when it's warm and not cold and snowy, and maybe spend the night and find some sheds. One of my favorite sheds comes from the Carpenter Creek area. There's some big deer in there. For the Pecos area, that's a good little area. I'll show it to you. Okay, it's hard to film this, but it's got, this antler's not like giant. I just always liked it because it had cool curves and was a cool looking antler. It's just a 4 with the nice little cheater on it and just some cool design. See, it's kind of a cool little antler. I've always liked this antler. And it's from Carpenter Creek in Pecos. It's a nice buck, but he's not giant. But it was fun to go back to Pecos. Friday morning I woke up, there's a bunch of elk at my pond drinking. I videoed those, and then we drove to Albuquerque and then Pecos and spent the night at this nice little cabin one of my co-workers owns. It's a little Airbnb right on the Pecos River, Pecos Cabins. They're really nice, and it's a great place to stay if you ever go to Pecos. And then I got to spend just a couple hours up at the canyon and saw a bunch of deer, a few little bucks, but nothing great, and didn't find anything. But anytime I could go back to Pecos to go hike, I will. I love that place. Awesome little canyon. Except for they made it into a state park and want to charge for parking and stuff. I did not know that. But it's a state park now, so be careful about where you park. Hey, good morning. We're on our way to New Mexico. This morning I woke up and there's a little bit of snow at home and a bunch of elk at the pond, which is neat. And then we packed up and we're going to Pecos, New Mexico. I used to live and teach there. And there's 3 mountain ranges and wilderness areas I know well. The White Mountains, Blue Wilderness, the Jemez Mountains and Jemez Wilderness, because I lived in Guyana for years. And then Pecos and the Pecos Wilderness area. So we're headed there, and I'll go hit some of my old spots and see if I can find anything. Kind of a cool arch, and we got the snow, about the same amount of snow we got in Springerville. Really, really pretty. It's cool. It's cold though. That's a cool arch. All right, I made it to Pecos. I'm up the canyon a little ways. I'm gonna come back here tomorrow morning and hike in this area, Carpenter Creek area. Right now I'm at Holy Ghost turnoff. I've been back there many, many times and found a lot of sheds. There, two more. There's the Pecos River and Holy Ghost running in right there. We're on this old bridge in the canyon. It's kind of cool. It's snowing just a little bit. Pecos Canyon. I like this area a lot. All right, I made it up the canyon. It's early in the morning. I came over here to this area called Carpenter Creek, and there used to be a little bridge, like a fallen log, but that was 5 years ago. I can't find my log anymore, so I'm just gonna have to cross in the river. And hopefully my feet don't get too wet. Hopefully my boots are tall enough, but I don't know. Pecos River is a big river and it's great for fishing. But I don't want to cross it when there's snow and ice on the ground. But we'll do it anyways, so I can get to my spot. Then I probably won't find anything, and I'll just have wet feet. Right now I'm in the little canyon that's like a artificial fly area only. It's called Green Chili Water in New Mexico. I used to fish in here a lot. All the Pecos River is great for fishing. I already saw people fishing on it on my drive up, so it's real pretty though. Here's my crossing spot. It looks shallow, but I don't know. I'm afraid my feet are gonna get wet. And it's like 20 something degrees outside. All right, that is definitely too deep like I thought it was. I got a little bit of seepage down the back of my feet, but not too bad. I should have cinched my shoes down, I might have been fine. All right, up we go. That was a very steep climb, but I made it on this little ledge. Biggest elk shed I ever found right here on this ledge. There's maybe a 350 bull, but that's a big bull for this area. A lot of game trails still up here, so there's still a lot of wildlife up on this ledge or bench. And I'll wrap around and then I'll have to go uphill again. Funny thing about the deer here, they always look surprised to see me. I can't even see them through the phone, but there's a couple of deer right there ahead of me. They're like, what is this guy doing? There it is. Always look surprised. They probably don't see people back in this wilderness area off the trails a lot. Just a little doe. I'm up here and there's deer everywhere. One group of little bucks, a whole bunch of does running away right through there. Haven't been up here in, like I said, a long time. If I had more energy and time, I'd keep going. I found some sheds right up this hill a little ways in this high meadow south facing. But it's time for me to start heading back. Oh, there's more deer. They just keep coming. There's tons of them. All does. Rut hasn't started yet. I'm almost back to the truck. Well, almost back to the river, and then we gotta walk back to the truck. A couple things about the Pecos I remember now. Steep and rough. I used to use the trails to get way back in there and then look for sheds. So I should have used the trails. I didn't this time because I wanted to look at that ledge where I found that big elk shed. Matching set. Saw a lot of deer, probably 30 actually. One little group of bucks. Nothing huge, but some okay ones. But Pecos has more deer per square mile than any other place in New Mexico, is what someone told me once. So a lot of deer in Pecos. All right, I'm gonna head down to the river, have to cross it again, and then get to the truck. The other thing, I mean, that's what I just came down off of, way up there on that ridge, and it goes up forever, it feels like. And then I just crossed. The other thing about, I always have to cross the river, and I wasn't thinking about that when I came here this time. It's been too long since I've lived here. And now I got very wet pants. Right there was one of the roughest spines I came down. I remember I came up a different way, and then I came down this spine right here. And I had a couple sheds in my back, and I dropped one of them. And I was like, oh, do I really want to go back up and look for it? But I did. Coming down off that was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. And it was getting dark, and I was worried. It's a rough ridge to come down.